Hello everyone! I am glad to see you on my channel. My name is Nadia, and in this video, I want to tell you how to crochet this kind of pattern. This is again a pattern in my favorite brush crochet technique, or crochet like knitting needles. This video will be a little unusual. We will start immediately with the chart, and I just want to tell you how the charts for such patterns are constructed, how to think, how to invent such patterns, and how to simply analyze the charts of such patterns. I first drew the chart for this pattern for this sample. Look at what kind of chart I am getting. That is, here I mark exclusively the shortened segments. Also, there are numbers in my chart. The numbers indicate how many stitches are in the shortened segment, and the grid squares say the same thing. That is, you can orient yourself either by the numbers or by the grid squares. And look at how I draw this chart. I started the first row. Here it is, completely highlighted in one color. All of this. This is the first row. On the finished sample, here it is, this first row. And here are these shortened rows. And then I highlighted the second row. The second row, now it is this purple color. It also consists of shortened segments. And in the same way, it goes from the left edge to the first edge. And on the finished sample, here is this second row. And then I repeat these rows. Everything is very simple here. What might you need in order to think with such charts? First, just take a notebook sheet. Yes, I have a computer program, but it doesn't really make much sense because it can easily be replaced by a notebook sheet. And start drawing those very shortened segments on your notebook sheet. Look, I have now outlined the very beginning of my chart.
And these three segments are the beginning of the first row. In the finished sample, this will be this place.
Next, if I refer directly to this chart, to the sample, then look, I will have the following part. One segment. Next segment. Next segment.
And the next segment. It's this part right here. If we look closely at the pattern, we will see that from here on, it repeats identically. Here it is again, and here it is again. Everything is absolutely identical here. 4, 14, 16, 14. This is our pattern repeat. And of course, it repeats without any changes all the way to the end of the row. Then, at the very end of the row, we still have this section, the blue segments. Look, here they are. And this part is the completion of the row. So we had the beginning, then we had the pattern repeat, and then the completion. But in the second row, which is our even row, everything works exactly the same way. We once again highlight the beginning. Here it is. Next is the pattern repeat. Here it is, and it repeats all the way to the end of the row. And at the end of the row, we will once again have our completion section. Honestly, this is all you really need to know to combine these charts, to mix and match these segments into different patterns, and to create all sorts of crochet fabrics out of them. I have the finishing row marked in green, which, as you can see, closes up all of these braids here. This will always be the final row of your actual project, not part of the pattern repeat. For example, if you are making a scarf, this is your final green row. I also marked the starting foundation chain in green. Here it is, the foundation chain. I marked that in green too. And with that, the theory part is over. I hope you won't have any more questions about how to read these charts. If you want the charts for my patterns, you are very welcome to join my Telegram channel, where I have a lot of different charts just like this. They are incredibly simple. Everything you see here, I'll say it one more time, is just a number. It's a number of stitches you need to repeat. They can be slip stitches, yarn over slip stitches, single crochets, half double crochets, or really any other stitches you want to use for this technique. I usually demonstrate these patterns using this specific type of stitches. I mean regular slip stitches and yarn over slip stitches. All right, now let's move on to the pattern itself. To crochet this pattern, I need to chain a number of stitches that is a multiple of 8. I will chain 32 stitches. Okay, the stitches are tasked on. I have chained 32 chain stitches. And now I'm moving on to crocheting the first row, specifically the first segment. Make a turning chain. You do this at the beginning of every single row and every single segment. That is a strict rule. Next, I insert my hook into the second chain from the hook, working into the back loop only. I grab the working yarn and make a slip stitch. That is 1. Into the next stitch, I make the next slip stitch. That is 2. Into the next stitch, another slip stitch. That is 3. For the first segment of the first row, I need to crochet 8 regular slip stitches. I have done 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, the first segment of the first row is ready. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and start the next segment. This one consists of 8 yarn over slip stitches. I start exactly the same way, inserting my hook into the second chain from the hook into the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and start the next segment, which is 6 regular slip stitches. Once again, I start in the second chain from the hook, working into the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And look at that! We have just crocheted the beginning of the first row. On the chart, this was the part highlighted with a turquoise circle. So here it is. The beginning section is done. Next, according to the chart, we start the pattern repeat. I highlighted the pattern repeat in red, if you remember. So here is the pattern repeat. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and crochet 4 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and crochet 14 regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have reached the first step. When I get to these step downs, the rule is very simple. I see a step, which means I need to make a joining stitch. I insert my hook into the horizontal bar of the row below and then into the stitch of the row below itself, just like this. And then I make a slip stitch, pulling through all the loops on my hook. That makes 5. This 5th slip stitch acts as our join. Moving to the next stitch, that is 6. Here is another step. Once again, I insert my hook into the horizontal bar, then into the row below, and make stitch number 7. Then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13, and 14. There we go. I have crocheted 14 slip stitches. Here they are. Now, working back in the opposite direction, I need to crochet 16 yarn over slip stitches, taking me all the way back to this point here. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and now I am making 16 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And once again, I find myself at a step. And since we are working this particular row using yarn over slip stitches, and those yarn overs are what create these puffy braids on the right side of the work, we need to make our joining stitch with a yarn over as well. I insert my hook into that little horizontal bar left over from when we turned our work, and I also pick up the strand of yarn coming out of it. I place a yarn over on my hook, making sure the yarn over sits right between my working loop and the strands I just picked up. Then I insert my hook down into the row below and complete a yarn over slip stitch, pulling through all the loops on the hook. That makes 15. And into the very last stitch, that makes 16. Make a turning chain, turn your work. Now for the final segment of our pattern repeat, which is 14 regular slip stitches. As always, I start in the second chain from the hook, working in the back loop only. I just crochet regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 done. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And look, my pattern repeat is completely done. This is the first time I have worked through the pattern repeat. From here on, we just repeat this exact same sequence over and over again. If you think back to the chart we looked at earlier, you will remember that this section was drawn multiple times. How many times you repeat it simply depends on how long your starting chain was. I started with 32 chains, so I will repeat this a few more times. If you cast on more stitches, you will obviously repeat it more times. Let me remind you of the pattern repeat stitch counts one more time. 4, 14, 16, 14. It is a really simple number sequence. Again, that is 4, 14, 16, 14. We just keep crocheting like this all the way to the end of the row. I will meet you right back here, and I will show you how to work the completion section for this row. So I have crocheted the pattern repeat several times, and now I am at the very end. I have completely finished my final pattern repeat right here. And now I am going to work the completion section of the row. On the chart, I circled this completion section in turquoise again. So make a turning chain, turn your work. First, I do 4 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 yarn over slip stitches. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and crochet 6 regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have reached a step, which means I need to make a joining stitch. So that is 5 and 6. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and crochet 8 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here is another step. So again, I insert my hook into the horizontal bar from the turn and into the yarn strand coming out of it. That is 7 and 8. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and I will finish this first row with 8 regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And with that, our entire first row is finished. Just look at what a fascinating, intricate design we ended up with. If you actually like how this looks on its own as a standalone design, and you want to use it for something just like this, then all you need to do is crochet your next row straight across from this edge, all the way to the other edge in one continuous segment, using yarn over slip stitches, making sure to connect all the steps as you go. But I am going to continue and crochet the second row. So make a turning chain, turn your work, and we begin the second row. Start with 8 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and crochet 8 regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and crochet 6 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and from here the pattern repeat will begin. So what we just crocheted right there was the beginning section of the second row. Just to remind you, this is what that part looked like on the chart. Now the pattern repeat for the second row begins, and the stitch counts here are going to be exactly the same as they were in the first row. 4, 14, 16, 14. All right, let's get started. Make a turning chain, turn your work. I make 4 regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a turning chain, turn your work, and crochet 14 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. I reach a step, so I make a joining stitch. That makes 5. Then 6. And right here, I am approaching a double step. This means there is one row right here and a second row right below it. I need to make a joining stitch that goes through all of these rows. So I insert my hook into the 2 strands of the first row, and then into the 2 strands of the second row. I place a yarn over on my hook, just like this. I go down into the lower row, and I complete a yarn over slip stitch by pulling through all the loops on my hook. That is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Make a turning chain, turn your work. Working back in the opposite direction, I do 16 regular slip stitches into the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I insert my hook into the horizontal bar and then into the row below for stitch 15 and 16. Make a turning chain, turn your work. Now 14 yarn over slip stitches. This is going to be the very last segment of our pattern repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Make a turning chain, turn your work. And with that, the pattern repeat is completely done. From here, I just repeat it over and over again. 4, 14, 16, 14. Once again, 4, 14, 16, 14. And I keep doing this until the end of the row. I will meet you right back here and I will show you how to finish off the second row. Okay, so I have finished crocheting the final pattern repeat. I am at the very last section of the repeat. You can see exactly where I stopped. From here, we move on to the completion section of the second row. On the chart, it looked exactly like this. Here is how I crochet this part. I make a turning chain, turn my work, and do 4 regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a turning chain, turn my work, and crochet 6 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. I insert my hook into the horizontal bar and the strand of yarn coming out of it to make my join. That makes 5. And 6. Make a turning chain, turn my work, and crochet 8 regular slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, and 8. Make a turning chain, turn my work, and the very last segment of the second row is 8 yarn over slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I will make a turning chain and turn my work to get ready for the next row. And there we go. I have crocheted the entire second row.
So now I have the first row complete and the second row complete. Here is a slightly larger swatch to show you. From this point on, if you want to crochet an entire piece of fabric using this pattern, you simply keep repeating row 1 and row 2, just row 1, row 2, and so on, until your project reaches the height you want. When you are ready to finish your project and straighten out that final edge, I probably don't even need to show you how to do it because it is pretty self-explanatory by now. You simply crochet a finishing row straight across. Every single stitch will just be a regular slip stitch. And whenever you reach these step downs, you just make joining stitches, exactly like I did on this finished swatch here. If you want to grab the chart, you are very welcome to join my Telegram channel. There should be a QR code popping up somewhere right around here on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.